Ready to do this thing?
Yeah, man, let's do it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers it up.
It's a big day, Brandon. Big day.
Monumental day, Ryan.
The Snyder Cut trailer, teaser trailer, is out in the open.
It's 2 minutes and 43 seconds. That's a little more than a teaser. They're calling it a teaser,
That's true.
but that is that doesn't do it justice.
That is true.
No pun intended.
Good one, Brandon.
Or
Very
pun
good.
intended. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so we just wanted to get on here and do a kind of scene-by-scene breakdown. When we watched it earlier today, immediately, right when it ended, called Brandon, and a lot of excitement was shared.
A lot of expletives.
Yeah, he was happy that I was not on speakerphone at the time.
Yeah. I almost put you on speakerphone. I was like, I probably shouldn't do this. My
Positive
daughter was right beside
expletives
me.
are the best kind of expletives.
The best kinds. Yeah.
Yeah, so it leaked a little bit early online, and there was a little bit of a stir about that, but if you were smart, you held off, and the listening to it at the panel time was totally worth it. Snyder Cut was blowing up the internet, trending on Twitter all day.
Yeah.
So
A lot of things were blowing up the internet today, but yeah.
We'll
break all that stuff down at a later date.
Yes, very soon, but at a later date. There's a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brandon, you want to do a scene by scene on this bad boy?
Let's do it. I feel like you're going to be hitting that play pause button pretty frequently.
I will be. A lot of scrubbing.
Yep.
All right,
let's go.
So
first
rock
off,
and roll.
are we going to be playing the music, or are we just doing this no music as far as what they will hear?
We can go.
I guess
I
it
may
just
play it
depends.
real lightly. We'll see how smoothly it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, and that's pretty much the whole trailer. So,
and it was
if you can't hear
the
it,
most appropriate music he could have possibly picked. Obviously, The Watchmen tie, another movie I love.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to address that first of all, because that's basically what hit me first, even though there's a very striking scene that kind of drops first. But I wanted to go ahead and talk about the music first, just because it was surprising, because I was kind of expecting it to be mostly score, and there is no score. But the song is
it was just
it hit the feels.
It did, and it was an awesome choice. Also, because it was totally poetic in regards to the movement.
Yep.
The Snyder Cut movement. Very underdog story there, and history made. So, all right, let's jump on in. Bam! Right there, Brandon. Right off the bat.
Yeah, right off the bat,
We get the biggest of bads.
Well,
Darkseid.
eventually.
Yes, Uxas. Sorry,
Uxas.
my bad.
Yeah.
A lot of people
I feel
online. Go ahead.
No, you go. Go ahead.
A lot of people online were, there's a lot of Zack Snyder hate out there. We're bashing this, saying that it wasn't doing Darkseid justice, and
Did they give
it's not
reasons?
even. Well, they don't like the look. Like he's not in his final form here.
Right.
Like, and people who don't follow the movement itself, they don't know that.
Well, I mean, yeah, this is the history lesson,
Right.
That in the movie, which this angle was never in the movie, but in the movie they replaced Uxas with Steppenwolf.
Right. And the teaser, one of the first teasers that Zach put out recently of Diana in the cave or wherever she was with the illustration on the wall, I assume that's the lead up to
History lesson.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it still blows my. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's either that or it's like Lord of the Rings style, which we heard for a while that they could open the movie like Lord of the Rings Fellowship style with a big
Yeah, I
history
mean, that's
lesson.
true. Yeah.
Who knows?
Um,
Can't wait to find out though. Whew.
That's right. 2021. Still don't know that date.
At some point. It's a pretty big range.
I feel like WB probably emails him every week. So Zach, when do you when do you think you're gonna be able to get that movie done?
It's some new content.
It'll be done when it's finished.
Yeah. I hope that's his attitude. Let's don't rush this. We can take our time. We waited this long.
All right, but let's talk about this. The eyes, man. It's awesome.
I'm gonna have to look this way because
do what?
my camera's blocking the eyes. Gotta look around the camera.
My bad.
It's okay.
Yeah, so I'm you hear Darkseid and immediately one of the first things that jumps into my mind is just Omega beams. So even when you search the most popular gifs of Darkseid, it's always the glowing eyes or the fire eyes.
Right.
So this is kind of cool. It's almost like he's got some like translucent deal going on. It'll be interesting to see. I know like if that's included in the history lesson or if was going to happen in a later movie, because obviously towards the end it sounds like he's just a tease to the next movie, not necessarily involved in any combat or anything.
Yeah, it seems like he's present in this sequence, the history lesson, and at the very end through a boom tube.
Right.
That's the thing about like this movie. We kind of know the story beats for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'll see a lot of those play out in this trailer, even.
Sure.
But still, it's like there's so much meat in there that we don't know how exactly it plays out.
Well, it's amazing, and we talked about this earlier. It's like whoever was in charge just went into the editing room and said, all right, anything that makes you feel any kind of emotion, let's yank that out.
Yeah. If it doesn't make you laugh hysterically, we don't want that.
If there's no bad jokes in there, it's not a movie. I dig the weaponry here. So it's kind of cool. And then obviously you've got the crazy cinematics going on as you would expect with his movies.
Yeah.
The Omega symbol on the chest there. Be interesting to see if that. I'm really curious to see what his final form looks like. Because frankly, this looks pretty intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, especially in kind of comparison to what was in the previous history lesson, which was just a very weird-looking Steppenwolf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, right off the bat, it's like super stylized, super dark, super gritty. Definitely, like in your face Snyder shot. Like
I was shocked when this was the first thing that screen that
this
popped
is the
up
kind
in
of shot
trailer.
that like it's like a reveal shot at the end, like a stinger reveal at the end. Like after it's already gave you like the title card, it's like, oh, and this end.
It's almost like it's almost like he's just like, all right, you want to see the Snyder cut? I'll show you the Snyder cut. This whole
and that's totally like his. I mean, it's so intentional how every frame in this movie, for the most part, or in this trailer, is intentionally new footage that we haven't seen.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
It is amazing. All right,
next scene.
Bam. Let's see. I'll pull back a little bit. This is awesome.
I
actually went back earlier today to look at the BVS scene where he died.
Right.
And there is no. This is either something that they shot back when BVS was filming and it wasn't used, or was shot for Justice League. There are no scenes in the regular Ultimate Cut where Doomsday is holding Superman and his spike is not through his chest.
Is this didn't Snyder post this on Vero in black and white?
He did.
With
He said
unfinished
he is.
VFX.
Yeah, it almost looked unfinished VFX almost made it look like he was like in the Genesis chamber because it was like so plain in the background, just laying
Right.
there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've obviously one thing is for sure as you watch this trailer, they've made substantial headway in
Post production.
But yeah, I mean, the just there were like you said, there's tons of stuff that Snyder's posted to Vero, of like tons of scenes in here that were just black and white silhouette renderings. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. So this, I can't tell in this actual frame that you have it on, but he's got the hole in his chest, right?
He does. Yep.
Yeah.
And I, of everything I'm looking forward to in this movie, and I was very vocal, even though I tried to rationalize liking Justice League when it came out. I was very vocal from the beginning that I just was not a fan of how they treated his resurrection. I just did not get any. There was no emotional anything involved in those scenes. And watching this trailer, like this scene here, just brings like all I can think about is the end of BVS where he's sitting there with Lois before he grabs the stake or spear and drives it through Doomsday.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
so yeah.
Well, that's like kind of like you were saying earlier, like as far as feels are concerned, that's what we were wanting for the entire theatrical cut of JL, and it just never landed in any, moment.
Right. Yep.
This trailer has so like it's a 2.5, 2:43 minute trailer and has like more emotion, more feels, more resonance, more impact than the entire like 2 hour whatever it is cut of JL. Like
it's almost what's funny to me is when I watched this trailer, I was thinking about it afterwards, and he's been very vocal about not having seen the theatrical. Yeah. Like I wonder if like as he's cutting this, he sends it to someone he knows that has seen it, and he's like, "All right, what scenes are? Did I include any scenes that were in the theatrical?"
Yeah. No, I mean I have to imagine that he's got. I mean,
well, I mean, it also could be WB,
it's
some kind of process involved there,
where he's like, all right, let me know kind of what was shown, what not, or he has a some sort of, so he can be like, all right, this is what I'm doing,
right? Yeah,
but yeah,
but yeah. So those two.
So I wonder how this plays out in the movie in JL. Like if this, it's obviously going to be in the movie. It's not just for the trailer, right? Because they wouldn't have finished this just for a trailer. I mean,
right.
So as far as, I wonder if this is something that, like a dream that Lois has, or.
So in my mind, and who knows, I almost feel like when I don't know what made me think this, but this almost feels like if he is awoken by the mother boxes in the Genesis chamber, like this feels like something that could like be like flashing through his mind, like as he
not just an
comes out of it. Yeah. And then him floating in the sky, like that was one of the things that I saw, and I did that in our last show where I put the side by side of the Heroes Park scene. It's hilarious because you watch in this trailer Clark when he's floating up above the scout ship. He looks very like smooth and like epic, but I was watching the theatrical, and he's like this like really like rigid dude, like hunched over, and he's just like floating up and down really quickly, and like it's just really like weird, unnatural looking. It's really funny. You should go back and check out the comparison.
I don't know if I want to
Yeah, you know what? I
look
take
at
that back. Don't do that
movie
Don't do
again.
that. Yeah.
I was
Don't
just
do
talking about that tonight. I texted this trailer to a friend, and I was like, "Check this out." And he was like, "I still haven't seen the theatrical version." I was like, "That's probably a good idea, unless you want to like play a drinking game and watch it, and just
No,
anytime
not
somebody
even.
says something
No,
stupid."
not even. Dude, you look at this trailer, and if somebody has not seen the theatrical version, there is no reason on planet Earth that they should go watch the theatrical version before this comes out.
Unless it's just like a proof of like, man, this deserved to be released. Like, look at
Do it.
what they put out.
Do it afterwards. Don't do it before.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an argument to be made for either side, but as far as like just being able to know, like going into it, okay, you knowing what came before, and then
I can
being able
see
to be
the
like,
argument for someone who hasn't seen it, but somebody who has seen it, I would say make sure you do it afterwards.
well, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you've already seen it, then why do that to yourself?
No, I mean like if somebody was giving that advice to somebody, if they had seen it versus somebody who hadn't seen it, telling them like,
yeah, I got you. Okay.
This thing's gonna be awesome, and it should be seen. If it hasn't, if you are one of the lucky few that have not seen the original, then just wait till 2021. Just wait till 2021.
There you go.
All right. This is awesome.
I feel like
Okay.
we're just going to be saying that a lot. This
I
is
know.
awesome.
It doesn't matter. We're
Luckily,
just
we're
excited,
playing
man.
it slower, so we're not going to be overcome with emotion and cry or get teary. We're taking
Didn't
it
do that
slow,
earlier.
and we don't
So
have
that's
this.
stupid.
We don't have the music to like get us.
I'm not
in
crying. You're crying.
that. Yeah.
I have the
mean,
music in my head. I got them in my headphones.
No,
So no promises.
I don't. So anyway,
All right.
Yeah.
So this
this was actually something that Snyder also teased on Vero with some
storyboard, right?
Yeah. So
this was
it's,
one of the we both talked about this. The nightmare sequence in BVS was one of the best sequences in that movie.
yeah, gave us probably the most iconic, in our opinion, version of Batman as far as a costume.
Yep.
The Nightmare Batman, freaking awesome.
Yep. And Snyder's made it very clear, like you said, through that storyboard and at other times, that the nightmare concept is not near over. And this is not the only sequence in this trailer that indicates that.
Right.
And I'm gonna try and skip ahead here to the part that I wanted to. So right here,
Well,
you know what that is, Brandon?
I do. It's a Joker card.
You're darn right it is.
Yeah.
Nice little Zack Snyder
It's
Easter
not
egg.
the best frame to stop on, but yeah. I mean, there's a closer
Come on,
one,
I
I
did
think.
pretty good, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like judging you, Ryan. I'm just saying, do better.
There you go.
But there you go,
There you
right
go.
there. That's a better one. There you go. But
There you go.
right before this, and you saw it when you paused earlier. There's Arthur's trident, kind of sticking the ground, which implies that I guess Arthur's out of the question.
Next.
You know,
I think
out of
he's
the-
actually said that on Vero
did he?
or something similar. I could be wrong. I know he's mentioned that maybe it was Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do you remember
in an
I
apocalyptic
think-
world, you'd imagine. Go ahead.
Gotcha. Well, besides, and I don't know if you can see it in this this sequence in the trailer, but I was listening to Andrew Dice and Stephen Colbert, their BVS by the Minute podcast, and they pointed out during this sequence that you can see the lake house kind of over toward the right in this sequence.
Yeah.
Which I never noticed originally upon my watch of BVS, which is a pretty cool little Easter egg, and gives you a little bit of gives you a little bit of reference as far as where this is actually taking place.
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of,
You've
you know,
obviously got
if
the
we
huge Omega sign there again.
sure, we'll see in the Hall of Justice, we kind of gloss over that too.
Yeah.
If that's to imply
I can
that
scoot you back.
these are the ruins of Wayne Manor, because we we kind of assume that Wayne Manor
There's
becomes the Hall of
the
Justice.
Trident and what we assume is the Hall of Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
as
all
far
of
as
this
logistics,
stuff
it would make sense. This is Wayne Manor, and then off in the distance would be
right.
his lake house, and
Yeah,
pretty cool.
pretty awesome.
Pretty cool. So I want to know how this. It isn't the theory that this whole nightmare sequence is, as far as the way we get introduced to it, is through Cyborg. When he taps into the mother box.
I think that is the case.
Or when he interfaces.
Because he's also put up photos of Cyborg with his family, or Cyborg looking at his mom and dad and him, and what I assume is a nightmare sequence. Mm-hmm. And this scene also caught my eye. I'm not sure. She's wearing I think that's the same coat she's wearing in the teaser that he put up.
Right. Yeah, that's my assumption. This is when she.
This is her
ruins or whatever.
Do you think that this is in Themyscira?
I don't think it can be, right? Because she can't go back to Themyscira.
She's not supposed to go back, but I think she can go back. Like, that's played up multiple times, and even like the animated series, like, she goes back.
I don't know, maybe, or because I don't know. I just figured that this was some like ruin of some like.
So the one thing that made me think that was because the arrow in the ground there, but I could be wrong. And obviously they have that tie there to the mother box, which is, what I would imagine the Darkseid inscription on the wall or illustration on the wall would tie to.
Well, it's been so long since I saw the theatrical.
Good for you.
Doesn't her mom? What's her mom's name?
Hippolyta.
What is it?
Hippolyta.
I kept wanting to say like Aphrodite or something.
Good thing you didn't.
Hippolyta. Hippolyta, she shoots the flaming arrow, which I don't know if that's a Zack thing, but it seemed like it could be. Mm-hmm. She shoots it where in the theatrical? Because I can't even remember. She shoots it, and where does it land? Because Diana sees.
That's a good question. I did not think about that.
She sees a news feed of something burning, right? And that's how she knows.
Man, I guess I haven't watched it in a long time either. Yeah. I just had like a flashback of the arrow sequence, but I don't remember.
Well, that's why I'm thinking that this isn't Themyscira. I think this is where she shot sense. And it caught on fire, and so she goes there, investigates, and then finds the Darkseid mural.
Right. That makes sense. Very cool.
Next frame.
Next. Yep, there you go. Smoking arrow.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon. Let's get into this.
Yep.
Hold on. Let's see if I can. There we go. Right there.
It's a pretty good frame. It's a pretty good frame of a skinny leg.
Yeah. It looks like a lady's leg.
Yep. Not Henry Cavill's leg. And we said this on a previous podcast that we don't mean any offense if these are Henry's legs. But they're a little feminine. Regardless, Henry's got nice legs. It could be a
small hologram. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible.
But it looks like a lady's leg. We talked about this when the movie came out.
We did.
It was in the trailer.
Yep.
And then it wasn't in the
this,
movie.
I think, is probably one of the only scenes that has been in a trailer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And there's the obviously there's the Man of Steel tie to Supergirl.
Sure. Well, I mean, that's what we're implying to people that don't know what we're talking about. We feel like this is a shot of Kara in her House of L attire. Because, as you probably already know, there was a comic that was released in tandem with Man of Steel that kind of showed Kara leaving Krypton, crashing on Earth, and the ship that ends up becoming Cal's Fortress of Solitude in Man of Steel. There was an empty pod that in the comic, if you read it before, then you know that empty pod was Kara's pod, and she exists in this world somewhere. She just hasn't made an appearance yet.
And it seems like
that
something.
This is Bruce kind of doing some sort of reconnaissance, like he's found.
What? How are we going to replace Superman?
Yeah,
It
seems like it's a misdirect. Like they want us to think this is him looking at Superman and feeling like guilty for what happened in BVS, but we don't think so.
Yeah, I just don't see a scenario where, the guilt thing, maybe. I just don't see a scenario where he's sitting there looking at a hologram of...
Because, this whole movie is about him looking for people to form a team,
Right.
So, that's just... we could be reading into it, but...
That's what's great about it. We can.
Yeah.
I
just feel like Snyder put this in here because I haven't seen anybody talk about this yet.
I know, it blows my mind. And it may be completely wrong.
Yeah.
But it just seems like something that, I don't know. There's a lot of things that fanboys and such catch on the internet.
That cape is also short, man. Like
it is.
Superman's cape goes pretty much all the way to the floor almost.
I know it.
And this cape is like right below the kneecap.
Right.
Come on. We're not crazy here.
No, not crazy. We're not crazy at all. Oh, man. Have I watched this trailer 35 times since it came out today? Maybe that's okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Who hasn't? All right.
All right.
We can go to the next one, but just know we're gonna be.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first. We're gonna be looking for that clout whenever that movie
that's
comes
right.
out.
Because that's important, right?
Yep, it is apparently.
All right, we got a couple Aquaman shots here, and this sequence was really
all different angles.
This sequence was really dumbed down in the theatrical cut, dude.
Extremely.
That's gonna be like
it's like
we sang that a lot tonight as well.
Yeah, they just barely used anything from it, and that was one of the coolest shots. Like a practical shot.
There was some cool green screen. I don't know if they were clips or stills that were put up at one point where it was like, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just another one of those things that you saw the movie and it's like, oh, all right.
It's 2 seconds, if that.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's skip ahead here to see a couple more of them.
Arthur walking
for all the ladies,
with a
right
whiskey
there.
Bottle. Yeah.
All right. Now, the mythical Gotham Knights football sequence for Cyborg that was all over everything initially and just totally disappeared. This I am absolutely psyched about seeing. Being a sports guy, being a Zack Snyder fan.
Yeah.
I just would love to see...
Worlds collide for you.
Yeah, I know, right? I just want to see how his photography collides with athletics. And I think there's a shot, too. I don't know if it's in this trailer or not, where... I think it is, actually, where it shows his mom in the stadium cheering him on. But this is just another one of those scenes in this trailer where you're just like, they totally ripped the heart out of Cyborg for the theatrical. We'll talk about it in a second, but there's a couple shots in this trailer where, holy smokes, you want to talk about acting. Ray Fisher just oh
Amazing.
man, I know.
His acting in this trailer will make you cry. Like, I mean,
he was crying,
especially. Oh yeah, but like knowing the context of what's going on,
right?
And I mean, they pretty much spell it out in this trailer, which was a shock to me. But we'll get to that.
Yeah,
it's
amazing because he was so like he was just got the short end of the stick with everything in this production, and to see him finally be able to shine is going to be absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
He's I think there's well, you know what? We'll wait till we get there. I don't want to spoil anything. There's his mom. And there it is, Brandon. There it is in all of its glory. A nice throwback to Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
When he walks out of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got the black suit. This is like everything I've wanted for
this is
15 years.
They released this scene without the black suit as a deleted scene, and JL being like, "Oh, well, maybe this will kind of
they want
the people that
shots.
want the Snyder
Can
cut.
you go grab a couple of them?"
Put the Hans Zimmer score on there just to piss us off because they didn't use it anywhere else in the whole movie. Anyway, let's talk about this movie.
Yeah, that one backfired hardcore.
No, this is awesome. I mean, you can't see it in great detail at this, this distance.
Ryan messed up again. I get it.
No, I mean you can't period in this shot. It's a pretty wide shot, but which I guess is another thing we should address. We haven't talked about yet. Aspect ratio. It's
look at them black bars on the sides.
Yep, them gorgeous black bars.
As much as you trust Zack Snyder with what he's doing, I will say in the back of my mind, being I'm just not a 4:3 guy, so there's obviously a little bit of like when you heard that he was going to do something full frame like this. But I will say that everything that I saw in this trailer, the way that it's shot is so pulled back that it gives so much awesome context.
Yeah,
that it makes everything so dynamic. Like you don't even notice the bars.
No, I agree, and it's one of those things where I was kind of like, all right, I wasn't like thrilled by the news, but seeing it, I'm getting used to it, and I mean, it does give it a different like epicness quality to it,
right?
But yeah, pretty sweet.
Yeah, these black suit shots. The other teaser that he put out of him walking up to Alfred in the black suit. Again, I probably watched it like 60 times.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get enough of it. The way the sneaky transition they pulled there is awesome. With him designing the suit in a certain way where it catered to being able to make the adjustments in post that they needed to.
Genius.
Should the situation arise.
I mean, it seemed like, depending, people have said that have sources or have people that in the know, whatever, have said that he shot this movie. He shot a version of this movie that would have been the 214 cut for the studio, but also shot like he would shoot a take. This is what the studio wants, and then he'd shoot a take for him.
Right. Right.
And then like you're saying with the suit, like how they made the suit, where okay, we're gonna appease the studio and we're gonna shoot it in a full color suit, but maybe one day we'll be able to reverse that and be able to do like a black suit edition or something. But
that kind of stuff too makes me think, like, especially watching the beginning of this trailer with that BVS, what we think would be a BVS shot that he just didn't use in the last film of Superman dying.
Yeah.
Like, you wonder how much of the material that he had and shot in BVS or had, gone through production in BVS, he's able to transfer to this film. Like even the nightmare sequence with the Omega in the desert, like you feel like there could be some overlap there, maybe even.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's like as far as like having assets already in place,
Sure,
for,
yeah,
like
yeah.
digital assets, those are.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure that's helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
who knows?
This also made me a little misty-eyed.
Mm-hmm.
All we got
So
in the last film was the really of her doing anything heroic in the traditional sense was the bank robbery
mhm.
scene, and there wasn't much. It just wasn't a scene that you know catered to the emotional side like this. Having her kneel down and talk to that little girl, it's
Right.
pretty pulls the heartstrings.
It's nuance, man. It's like the little things that Zach does, just like he's definitely a visual storyteller, and people don't give him enough credit for his like ability to convey things without spelling it out for you.
Well, he's so good at like developing these characters' humanity. Like
Right.
even in Man of Steel, the sequence that sticks out to me is the when he's working at the bar truck stop thing, and the one of the patrons in there harasses the waitress, and he stands up for her and gets abused for it. It's not like a huge part of the storyline or anything, but it's pretty fundamental in establishing like how like his moral compass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this stuff's all like next level, and it doesn't take a lot of screen time to be able to
It's just
put
yeah, I
something
mean,
like
it's
this
just
in there.
little things like that that go a
Right.
long way in terms of just establishing tone and just giving a little bit more weight to things and just furthering these,
Right.
characters.
And we've talked about it like a nauseating amount, but this is the kind of stuff where I'm just I'm blown. I always get blown away by how he gets so bashed in the critical community for not
Wish you could tell
creating
a
a
story.
superhero movie that no superhero movie is there's no like BVS is like there's no hope in it or whatever. I'm like, it's the exact opposite.
Right.
I'll just let the story happen. Like it's
Yeah.
it's just crazy to me.
Indeed.
Inspiration there, gotta love it. This scene we saw in one of the early trailers as well.
Yeah.
Where
There was
he
a,
shatters the glass.
Yeah. There was a leaked version of this scene that came
Oh
out.
yeah, I do remember that.
Unfinished VFX. Barry slides through the concrete or pavement.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Pavement's kind of coming up, and barefoot Barry
I know.
coming
Wonder
out of his
what
shoes.
happened there. And then we get our first real look at Iris here.
Lucy Clemens, Iris West.
Yeah. So this, I'll be interested to see. I'm interested to see his storyline in general. I feel like there's going to be more to him than just that. Obviously, there is here with the sequence, but more to him, his origin than just that jail scene.
Yeah.
Deal,
There's going to be more to everything, Ryan. We're talking about 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yes.
It's amazing. You think about that on a percentage scale, dude. Like he said what? Zack Snyder said you saw maybe what
25%
25% of what he shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Which would equate, as far as the theatrical version, what does that even equate to? Like 10% of theatrical footage? If his cut is 4 hours and he shot 25%, like 25% of his 4 hour.
Oh, I mean, it's gonna be crazy the amount of
that means
stuff we have not seen.
Yeah.
That like, I mean, if you think about Justice League was a flat 2 hours, right? Because they had put that mandate in to cut it to two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got to imagine, and you don't got to imagine. You know that the majority of that film was not what he shot, and then you've got even if it was all that he shot, you
Well,
got
like
a
we were
whole
saying
other two
earlier,
hours
it's like
to film of
it,
his
even the
film.
stuff that he shot that they used was probably stuff that he shot for the studio.
That's true.
For their mandated, let's make it
Right.
funny, let's make it like, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
one for them, one for me type mentality. You got to think that even those scenes.
that's true. I have a
we're
hard
not
time
even
even
gonna see.
getting in that mentality. Like, he's made it clear that he was putting out all the 214-minute deal.
Mhm.
Like, I have to keep reminding myself that that's not what we're getting. We're getting something much longer and much more his original vision than even that.
Much more better.
Much more better. So yeah, keeping moving or rolling along here. This scene where it's got Victor pounding the grave. Have they put? Did he put? I know he put a photo up of this. Do we know?
Yeah.
Whose grave that is? Is that his mom's?
So, yeah, I would imagine that this is either his mom's grave. It could be his grave.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. If it's his grave.
Because I would imagine that his dad kept this in secret.
Right.
That, him trying to save his life, and then, the mother box kind of terraforming to his body or whatnot.
It's just so cool how his story's gonna totally change. In the theatrical, he was just basically he was just like a former jock who had an accident. His dad tried to fix him, and he was kind of angry about it.
Yeah, right.
Like, that was about the extent of it. You don't get to see any of, like, we didn't get to see any of him struggling with his new body, or like, it's gonna be awesome. There's your shot, Brandon.
Yeah, there's a shot. We have seen this shot before, but
and you love it every time.
I do. There's isn't there an Iron Studios statue of this that came out that I was like, oh man, it was so expensive though, but it is freaking gorgeous. This shot's gorgeous. They still F this shot up in the theatrical cut.
I know. Was that the one with the plastic flapping in the?
Yeah. God. Oh man.
How do you? So this is something that, like, you see this shot and you're just like, that's Batman. Like,
it's the Batmaniest of Batman shots.
That's straight up ripped out of a comic book.
Yeah.
How do you? It blows my mind. I keep asking myself that over and over. How did this shot get removed?
I remember Al seeing this shot, and he'd be like, man, that was so lame. Like, they have Batman with his cape fly. I was like, come on. I'm like, dude, you don't even, like, you don't like Batman. You don't like that shot? You don't like Batman. Get out of here. Al is our host of
am I right?
CiNEMACHiNE. You can direct all hate to him.
He doesn't like, as he calls them,
he doesn't like
underwear
good things.
Movies. Yeah. So that's why we do this show on our own. All right. Onward and upward. Oh, who's that on the left there, Brandon?
Is this the break room?
Oh gosh. Let me back that up real quick.
She looks thirsty.
Yeah, I remember watching that scene in theaters and, like, looking over at you like, this is going really bad, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. That was like right after the probe, like, news thing.
Yeah. The like bleeped out probe thing.
Yeah. Goodness.
So Katie saw this scene and she was like, Katie, my wife, she watched this scene, and in the theatrical cut, the color palette of the movie is completely different.
Yeah.
Um, she saw Amy Adams and she said, "Oh my gosh, her hair's not fire red anymore. This is great."
Yeah.
But who's that there, Brandon?
Mommy
Is
Kent.
Is it?
Well, I mean,
Is it? Did we get our first look?
maybe it's Harry Lennox.
Yeah.
Dressed up as a woman.
Martian Manhunter. So the answer is Martian Manhunter.
Well, I don't know. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if that's this scene. It could be.
I think it is.
That scene takes place at a coffee shop, right?
Does it?
Yeah.
So I thought it was here. Maybe I'm
No.
wrong.
I mean,
thought
they
that
could
it was them
they
after
could
they
end
talk.
up they could end up going to a coffee shop from here, but
Yeah.
in the storyboards it shows them, I think, at a coffee shop, and he even posted, I'm pretty positive, them in the coffee shop, a picture.
Gotcha.
It's the exterior scene, and I think that's the scene that he didn't get to shoot, which was
So
the
I thought that
transformation scene.
the coffee shop post was just Lois. You know what, Brandon? Pull up Vera.
I'm pulling it up, but we can keep talking.
Because when I saw that later in the trailer, there's a sequence where Lois sees Superman for the first time. And sequentially, I was kind of putting the coffee shop photo before, like maybe she walked out of the coffee shop and saw him up there, like saw news or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
I could be wrong, but there's a lot of chatter on the internets that this is Martian Manhunter.
I'll send you this link.
Which either way, we know we're getting some.
I'm looking at this photo. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you. I don't know. I can't exactly tell if it's. We can put it up in the video in post, but
Sure.
I think this scene is probably at their home. Now that I look at it, there's like books in the background, and I mean, coffee shops have books, but it's just curtains and stuff. So I think it's their home. So you could be right about that. But I do remember. Now this is. I think that's
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah. Well. And it would probably take me a while to try and find the storyboard, but I'm pretty positive that the storyboard took place. Let me see. Zack Snyder, Justice League, Martian.
But anyway, either way, you can tell when these two meet here that there's just so much, especially in the eyes of Amy Adams, just so much emotion. In the sequence in the theatrical, it was just it was in the Daily Planet, right?
Yeah, I found the storyboard.
Okay.
Now, yeah, you're right. Well, you're right. And my coffee shop thing was confusing two different things. They are having coffee in the storyboard, but it definitely could. It seems like it is an apartment type situation that they're in the storyboard. And after Martha leaves, she closes the door, and that's when the transformation from.
You're darn right. That's gonna be awesome.
She transforms from Martha to Martian Manhunter, and then to Harry Lennox.
Yeah.
Swanwick.
Harry Lennox being General Swanwick from Man of Steel and BVS.
Correct. Now, the coffee shop thing that I was thinking about was there's a scene. I think there was also a storyboard where it was the security guard that is the original Jimmy Olsen that's featured throughout. Kind of, he's. Well, we'll talk about him later, I think, or maybe we don't. Maybe that was just in a teaser. Anyway, he apparently was taking Lois down to Hero's Part, like escorting her to Hero's Part, like every once in a while, like letting her go visit, and like that was like, so that I just remember there being a storyboard that Zack released about that.
Yeah.
I think that's what I confused. Anyway.
Gotcha. Either way, this scene is going to be a million times better than the dry Daily Planet conversation between the two.
Yeah. Thirsty is the right word. The thirsty conversation.
Yeah.
Dry, thirsty.
Yeah.
I guess they're similar.
Yeah. So, Brandon, you like this scene here, this shot here?
I do. I like all the shots. What are you talking about?
That's true. And this was completely taken out. They didn't show. I think the only thing they showed was him showing up and Mira being in the bubble, right?
Yeah.
This where he gets his trident, pretty awesome. I assume. What do you think? Do you think this is him?
And Orm.
So this is after he talks to Bruce and he decides to go get this and show up to help.
I would assume so. We know, Snyder put out that photo. I think it was like during the November 17th day of
You mean Volko?
Arthur. Yeah, not Orm. Sorry. Yeah, Volko. Thank you. It's a good thing you're here. Yeah, so he and Volko, I think it was two different shots. One of kind of a wide shot of Arthur and Volko, and then one close up of Volko.
Yeah.
Actually, three of Volko.
I'm really curious to see this Aquaman stuff and see how it, either way, how it plays, how it folds into the beginning of the Aquaman story, or does
he's in
not.
that photo that Zack shared of Volko. Volko's holding the trident. It's hard calling it a trident. It's got 5 points, but whatever you would call it.
Pendant.
Sure. And Arthur is standing on these steps, these same steps, it seems, in that photo. And yeah.
Pretty awesome. Looks like his armor there that he snags.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is
So
shot where...
Yeah, I think these two scenes are not the same. The one before is different than this one. Yeah.
And then we've probably already talked about this in one of the previous episodes, but this is just I imagine this is just a shot before the intro sequence here.
Yep.
He's got the kind of world engine-ish stuff going on in the background.
Right.
Right here, this got me super pumped because I had no idea that Darkseid was gonna be in the movie.
Oh, really?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah,
for whatever reason, is that something they've talked about?
Yeah.
Really?
They revealed that the no lanterns, no Kryptonians, that dialogue from the original trailer is from... I don't know if it was given that the dialogue is from Darkseid or if it's being given to Darkseid by Steppenwolf.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
That's awesome.
You know what's interesting about this shot? And I think it's just because comics are just similar as far as Marvel and DC, but do you think that this character model looks like one of Thanos' children from Avengers?
I saw
one that looks like an elf.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I saw
because he also has like a hood as well, I think.
I just didn't like it. That did not occur to me until I saw the post.
It's just similar. I mean,
like if you really I can see where people would think that, but then looking at him, like just based on the color of the face and the hood, I can see that.
Yeah.
But like this guy looks pretty imposing compared to.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm super
like
interested to see how his character plays into the nightmare stuff, because and I don't know how familiar you are. I know you said that you don't know much about him, but um, he like his abilities are like he can like alter thoughts, and he feeds off of fear, and like like when I saw this, my first thought was, is he like is he the guy that's kind of controlling all of Victor's um all the family nightmares that he has and all that.
Yeah.
And he also, don't know if I doubt it has any kind of may have relevance in this movie or not, but he's kind of known as like one of Darkseid's like torturers, like
Sure.
chief torturer.
I imagine. I mean, I guess that could be the case with the Victor connection. I don't know. I think it would have to be from a distance. I feel like it's probably going to be I imagine this scene, if I had to guess, unless it's a nightmare type scene, I wonder.
Well, it looks like it is a nightmare scene if you look in the background.
Explosion, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, either that or it's with that whole like, no lanterns, no Kryptonians, this werewolf, all that whole thing. This could be that sequence.
Yeah. That's true.
Before Steppenwolf is.
That's true.
We know that Steppenwolf is trying to gain favor with Darkseid again, so this could be that scene before they send him to Earth.
Right. True. True.
But yeah, he looks awesome.
This scene, I mean, come on. Oh, I couldn't get it. Hold on.
I was about to say, can you pause it on the tier?
Hold on. Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
I mean, jeez. Like, everything about this shot is awesome.
Yep.
Flash in the background looks
Labs.
kind of paralyzed. Yeah, looks kind of paralyzed and with what's going on. Victor just, I don't know if he's just in agony of what's happening or if he's struggling to control the body, or if it's a combination of the two, or but we can see here in a second. Well, we will in a little bit. This is the scene. Go ahead.
I was going to say right before the scene changes, he kind of looks off screen a little bit, like almost like he's like,
that's true.
He's fighting his emotions a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we know the context. We're pretty sure we know the context of what he's. And
he has a theater background, right? Ray Fisher.
Yeah, that's his background.
So that's why
this is his first movie.
This is going to be awesome.
I mean, if you don't count BVS, the little scene BVS, but
sure.
First role.
And then this here, if this doesn't pull your heartstrings, I don't know what will pull your heartstrings. Well, Brandon, they brought in the big guns.
Indeed.
I still am like, have no idea really what that means from Justice League.
It's their secret weapon, bro. You don't get it.
You don't know.
You don't know. Yeah. Well, there she is.
No, this is awesome. So the sequence in my mind, and again, could be wrong, but it's fun to speculate, is the shot of her in the coffee shop where she's looking out the window. I feel like she sees him or sees people looking up or something and walks outside and looks up and is just in shock. Could be wrong there, but just trying to connect dots.
Sure.
This is Star Labs again, and we've got I guess we assume this is Silas starting the laser here to destroy the mother box. And
back that up just a tad, just the Silas shot.
All right, there we go.
So blood trickling down the nose. So we assume this is right before. And
Yeah,
we
it looks
we
like
know that
he's like,
Steppenwolf. I imagine this is in the theatrical cut. Steppenwolf just like right during the whole like Supes versus Wonder Woman,
sure.
Flash, Cyborg, Arthur.
Yeah.
He's got the box and he's gone.
Yeah.
They don't he just gets it and it's over. We don't see anything.
Boom tube out of the parking lot.
Right. It falls on a car or something.
Yeah. And then they're all in Heroes Park and they see the boom tube and they're like, oh.
We should probably go over there, but guys, we're tired. It's
been a really long day. Like, we just resurrected him.
Batman's laying on the ground over here. Something's definitely bleeding. How embarrassing. We got to go help Bruce.
God, he's always holding us back.
He's been running this whole time trying to get over here to us.
We're in the middle of Heroes Park.
I'm coming!
There's nothing he can grapple to.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, we know Snyder he posted a picture of Steppenwolf in Star Labs, and Cyborg is there as well. And so we assume that this is the moment that Steppenwolf gets the mother box, and Silas,
mm-hmm.
he gone.
Kicks the bucket. Or do we think that he's like deteriorating here? Like, if you look at the side of his face, he's got like almost like blister looking wounds going. Obviously, then blood on the nose, maybe some sort of wear going on here.
Yeah.
I don't know. His eyes look a little off.
Well, he looks like he's crying almost, but well, as far as the deteriorating look, we'd get that answer in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if that's the beginning of that, or
so behind him, are we to assume that that's Barry? I can't quite tell what that is behind Victor.
Ooh, that looks like Steppenwolf.
Okay, yep, you're right. Yep. You can see the horns.
Yeah.
Good call.
Man, that's crazy. They've it's crazy.
They're working on this movie, Ryan. They're actually doing this.
It's just so hard to believe.
Yeah. So there's Victor reacting to his father's demise. Yeah, I mean it's this effect right here reminds me so much of the whole like Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan.
Yep, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yep. And let's be honest, it wouldn't be surprising if he was
he's going to be
that intentionally. No, just nodding to it. Crossover. Yep. The multiverse.
Yeah. Black Manta. Any spoilers, guys?
All right. Now we got some Amazonian action going on here. So Hippolyta and a couple Amazon warriors.
You know what's going to be great about
do you think they're running
sequence?
What's that?
Robin Wright.
Oh,
She's in
I
this
didn't
movie.
think about that. Yeah, forgot about that. There's so many, like, even the Amber Heard stuff, the Volca stuff, like Robin Wright's character. I mean,
Hippolyta.
That stuff's crazy. Do you think she's running into that chamber here or out of?
Can
back it up.
I think she's
looks
running
like into.
Yeah, I think she's running in. She's running out. It seemed like it. I mean, I don't know. It was daylight in the theatrical cut. It seemed like it would be.
Well, she. The reason I asked that was because it looked like she was daylit a little bit, but now that I'm seeing it, it's probably just the boom tube.
Gotcha. Yeah. Speaking of boom tubes,
the first look at the new and improved Steppenwolf
Spiky
in full
effort,
res.
as Snyder called him.
Yeah. I can't. There aren't words to describe the upgrade that Steppenwolf got.
Yep, they just went to their computer and hit the upgrade button. Easy as that.
Enhance.
Yeah, he looks awesome, menacing.
Yeah,
Finally,
he does, and it was cool to see. So one thing I noticed too, seeing him in full res, it really hit me how similar his kind of structure is in Victor's
Oh yeah.
build.
Super
and I know
intentional.
that's something that I realized, and with all the concept art that leaked, but like to see it actually in the same trailer is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Totally, just totally disregarded it and the relationship there with the mother boxes in the theatrical. But it was also cool to see how his it was almost like, it reminded me almost of, how in the first Iron Man where Tony puts the suit on and like all the little fins and flaps like move around.
Yeah.
That when he lands there and you see all the spikes kind of like wave down, and it was cool to see how like his armor's kind of like a moving, like living, moving thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of cool.
Kind of cool indeed.
Didn't necessarily expect it. This shot. Did you see so there was a tweet that went out where it compared the first trailer, I think, and then the theatrical, and then the Snyder cut,
right,
with this shot.
Mm-hmm.
And
Victor
this
was
shot
different.
by far takes the cake. Was he? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it was a different pose.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So when I watched it, obviously the color grading you notice first and foremost, and the I don't know, lava looking.
You know what's so crazy about this whole like?
Tell me, Brandon.
Well, as far as like, we keep saying this. As far as like, what were they thinking? Like, I just don't understand the thought process of changing this whole sequence in the theatrical version to red.
Yeah.
Versus this more blue,
right?
Aesthetic. It's like, I feel like if there is, it just seemed like they were changing stuff to change. To me, red just seems more drab and dreary and like.
Oh, it did not work at all.
Well,
like, what's I talked about it on the last show. Every like, you can a lot of these scenes, the way they were shot and then the way they were treated in post, were so like, I don't know. They just polar opposites. So it almost like gave a lot of these clips in the theatrical like a dream glow, or nothing. Like nothing was very crisp.
Yeah, well, it's because it wasn't shot to be,
right.
They didn't shoot it like just like the Heroes Park stuff. Like they didn't shoot it for daytime. That's why it looks weird.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know.
But it doesn't matter because we're getting it.
It doesn't. But yeah, I mean, that comparison tweet was pretty cool because you could see. You just got
There's also the aspect ratio,
right? See
difference.
Just how much more detail and information is on screen versus
right.
And I think the architecture itself, even of this area, which I think in the theatrical version, Arthur and Cyborg aren't even in the theatrical version in this shot. It's just Diana.
Really?
Yep.
So I think one thing I noticed too was the whole sequence in Steppenwolf's layer, or whatever you want to call it, is going to look so much more epic with this aspect ratio. Just like, I mean, shoot, you throw a 16:9 ratio just on this clip here and you totally lose everything above that archway.
Right.
I just think it's going to give everything, like make everything look so much like more substantial, and I don't know.
It's awesome.
We will see.
What
was going on here?
Yeah, I didn't catch that. Assume.
I didn't even notice this at all the first time
I didn't either.
the first 30 times I watched the trailer.
I'm assuming Barry.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, yeah, it looks like something that.
So could this be the scene that Snyder showed? He had that clip where there were two Barrys. Do you remember that? He put out a clip, not a clip, but a picture. Gosh. On Vero, obviously, of Barry with some civilians. And we can throw this up. After the fact. But yeah, so the thing about these Vero photos is I can scroll past it because it may be a post that had two photos and I just can't see the second photo in the thumbnails. But anyway, there was a photo that Snyder put out that had Barry, basically what I just said. Barry with a bunch of civilians, which looks like it could be the same scene. He was but there were two separate versions of Barry in the shot.
Gotcha. Oh, I do know what you're talking about. Yeah. We can pull that image and put it in post. But this next shot already looks a million times better than the theatrical with not the blood red sky. You got Batman cruising in the Batmobile, fighting off a ton of parademons.
Did you say parademon crashing into the Batmobile?
Do I?
Did you? I didn't. I'm writing.
We just got it. There's a ton of parademon. Him cruising in the Batmobile, fighting off a ton of parademons.
Yep, parademon crashing into the side.
Yep.
Kind of battering ramming the Batmobile.
Ooh, I got it. Nice. Wasn't thinking I was gonna be able to get that one. This is gonna be awesome. So you got obviously Superman versus Steppenwolf here. And just tells you how much was changed with the reshoots for his Superman's entrance to this battle here.
You think so, Ryan?
A bit? Yes. A bit.
Really?
Yeah. I know you loved his line, Brandon. What was that line again?
I believe in
Go
truth.
ahead. Yeah.
But I'm also a big fan of justice.
That's right.
And waxy upper lips.
That's actually a nice way of putting it. But yeah, this just looks like an awesome action sequence. Treated awesomely in the trailer, and I will say that the difference between Batman and Joss's Justice League and Zack's Justice League, you could probably just put side by side the Heroes Park shot of him sitting on the ground, laying on his cape, and him deflecting laser beams from parademons with his gauntlets.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. This Batman being Batman. That was a really cool timed shot for this trailer because there was that like pause, screen cuts to black, music cuts out, and then it was like syncopated with the music when these shots were hitting. It was pretty cool. So
here's our first look at the potentially the Speed Force here. Awesome. The teaser he put out yesterday, 2 days ago. Yesterday,
yeah.
Where it showed Barry just like running and almost like the ground breaking, like glass
It's coming up.
underneath his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Here's another look at it.
Do you have any
You want to talk about this one,
inclination?
Brandon?
Well, I was going to ask you, do you have any like kind of thoughts on when Barry taps into the Speed Force?
First opportunity, or first thing that jumps into mind would be when they're trying to resurrect Superman. Yeah.
Well, we talked
So I
about
know we talked
even
good.
Well, I was going to say, even during the theatrical, if you notice, right after Barry touches the mother box, it seems like he like slams into a wall, but goes like one
Through
the
it.
Kryptonian ship. Yeah, he goes through it, but then it's just glossed over, and
Right.
like everything is. We
Got him.
We were kind of yeah, take that. We were kind of theorizing that, in Zack's version, that would be the moment when and this could be him, like that shot that you just, that could be like him being like, where, like he gets into it,
Sure.
and he's kind of confused and not knowing where he is.
Right.
And we'll see though.
I still wonder how if there's going to be any kind of hint at him of a connection between that and any of the nightmare sequences, just because of the BVS shot where he comes back through the like when Bruce is sitting in the cave. And
I want to know if there's a conversation between Bruce and Barry about that moment.
Right.
That's
true.
Like it would seem like, Bruce would be like, so you and I have spoken before, or you spoke to me, like have this,
right.
Like moment that they've actually met before.
Right.
Because they didn't touch on that in theatrical, but
sure.
Anyway,
we've got the
Kent
Farm scene where you finally get the reunion that everybody wanted, that we're gypped out of in theatrical.
He looks like he smells good.
Actually, oh gosh. Actually,
we talked about whether
shot
some of those
like
scenes...
on location.
Yeah.
This is one of those scenes where watching it in theatrical, you're just like, oh gosh, that was a very abrupt shift to a set.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is this is gonna be a tearjerker. Let's be honest.
Sure.
I remember when that came out in the trailer, one of the later trailers, and I was like, and this was after we like started like going like, oh, this could be really bad, or like, but trying to stay positive, and then this came out, and I was like, okay, all right,
yeah,
it's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
and then it wasn't in the movie.
Third JL trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
You text me, you're like, nailed it. They nailed it. You got, because I wasn't gonna watch it. You convinced me to watch it.
Yeah, I always do.
Yeah. So this is what we assume to be like when remember that sequence that Snyder apparently designed some new like camera rig where it's like circling the league in the hangar. This is supposedly that sequence, I think.
Gotcha.
When he has the mother box, they have it sitting on the table, and
Mm-hmm.
there's like a little like almost augmented reality type sequence.
Yeah. Looks like got a little
Atlanteans.
Yeah. So this looks like. So when I saw this, it's a real quick clip, and when I saw this, I was like, "Is this part of the history lesson?"
Yeah. That was what I would assume.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that seems to be one of the guys that was part of the like. They gave the mother box one to the Lantians, one to the like those. That looked like one of the guys that was part of that sequence.
Right. This is the "you should probably move" sequence.
Indeed.
That was also cut.
Yep.
But I would
Add it to the
imagine this
list.
is one of the first. Yeah, this is one of the first times where you actually see Victor, like, using his abilities to do hero type stuff.
Yeah.
And here's that clip that we kind of talked about earlier with the Speed Force.
I love the effect. I love the like.
Yeah, it's just a really
breaking
cool,
of the ground.
Right.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I don't think you could find a person in the world that would criticize that.
I mean, I know there's obviously a precedent with the Flash TV show as far as how they treat, the running.
Sure.
And I know that they're on a very limited budget compared to this, but
Well, that's what I love about. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, they do what they can with that, and it looks fine for TV. But this just looks.
Sure.
It looks awesome.
Like it costs $60 million.
40 to 60.
Yeah. This shot here, $1 million.
Where are the flowers?
We've got the. Oh gosh, I totally forgot about the flowers. Everything in the land. Everything in the land. Just I'm having PTSD over here. I'm gonna wake up like I'm having nightmares tonight. No. But I don't know why it is, but and I know partially it's probably color grading, but they even had like properly color graded promotional images early on for this type of shot, but the black suit Superman just makes it look even more awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's great.
I'm gonna be interested to see if there's any kind of hint at the suit having any kind of healing or regenerative qualities.
Right. Didn't he answer a question on Vero this week about that? Like,
yeah, he said somebody asked him like why the black suit, and Snyder said like because he can, and then somebody else said also because it heals
like
or
too.
something, and he said that too. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out.
Pretty sweet.
And then here, Flying Fox, that was not present in the theatrical.
This is when they're looking at all the pretty flowers.
They were just looking at all the flowers growing in the fields.
Look,
all
guys,
of a sudden.
We did a pretty good job. We're landscapers.
Yeah. Then the Sound of Music starts.
Yep.
Oh, it's awesome. Then we get a little cut here where Barry is kind of talking about how the League has Darkseid is this huge big bad, and they he's kind of out of their league, pun unintended.
Yeah. Well, this scene is for the movement as far as
sure.
I mean, it's very much like, I mean, it's a cool scene regardless, and it's a good note.
There's a lot of
end
symbolism
on,
in this trailer for
yeah, but this, they never faced us before, not us united. Like that was on the JL shirt promotional stuff. I mean, Snyder's been using that throughout, but I mean, that's just like, it's like the little, like, just an extra little thank you to the fandom. To the fandom in the fandom.
That's right. This one of the cooler shots of, and you know how I am, Brandon. I'm always a sucker for Batman with the cowl off. I love seeing like Batcave Batman. So I obviously dug this shot.
Yep.
But I think that pretty much wraps it up. HBO Max next year. Still don't know when, but next year.
Broken into 4 episodes, 1 hour
That's
apiece. Right. We found that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you want to do it again, second by second?
Yeah, we're only what is it? Hour and it's a crisp hour and 31 minutes to review 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, well,
oh man, that's why we love these movies, man. Like, think about it. We still have like meaningful dialogue about BVS and Man of Steel to this day, and count the number of hours that we've talked about those movies.
Countless.
Yes.
Countless.
So yeah, we just wanted to we were excited today, so we wanted to take some time to chat with y'all. And
well, we were gonna do this just amongst ourselves anyway, so we figured might as well record it.
That's right, yeah. And we'll be releasing a similar video. It'll be probably shorter of the Batman trailer also that was just released tonight as well. So, and we've also got the kind of fandom roundup that we're going to do hopefully in the next few days here. And Brandon,
lots to talk about, man.
It's a good time to be a DC fan.
That it is, Edward.
That it is, Edward. All right, Barndon. Thank you guys for tuning in to CAPECAST, and we will chat with you soon.